white women are looked at as success in America. We see a white woman, I couldn't have you. My daddy couldn't have you. My granddaddy couldn't have you. I would get killed even looking at you. So now, if I play for the NBA, I want them all.
Arthur Jack Johnson was an American boxer who made a name for himself when he became the first African American to win the World Heavyweight Boxing Champion. He was famous to be the most notorious and African American boxer in the world at the time and was dubbed a nickname Galveston Giant.
For more than 13 years, Jack Johnson was the most famous and the most notorious African American on earth. He battled his way from obscurity to the top of the heavyweight ranks, won the greatest prize in American sports, a prize that had always been the private preserve of white combatants, then suffered persecution at the hands of his own government, and years of exile before the title was taken from him. And he did all these things during the years which marked the low point of African American life after emancipation.
History might just have him be the most inspirational athlete in the boxing world, as the famous Muhammad Ali has, on a few occasions, talked about how he was influenced by Jack Johnson.
Abandoned by the federal government, denied the vote if they lived below the Mason-Dixon line, and living under the constant threat of mob violence, Black Americans at the turn of the 20th century were no longer enslaved, but not yet truly free. Jack Johnson insisted on being free. When whites ran everything, Jack Johnson took orders from no one. While most African Americans struggled merely to survive, Jack Johnson reveled in his riches and his fame. When Black Americans were expected to defer to whites, Jack Johnson battered them to the ground. And at a time when the mere suspicion that a black man had flirted with a white woman could cost him his life, Jack Johnson slept with whomever he pleased.
Yeah, I want to see my little old mama.
Fried chicken, Jack.
Ooh, can't wait.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, you're the first black man in the history of the ring who's ever had a crack at the heavyweight title. Now, white folks, of course, are behind Brady. I mean, he's the redeemer of the race and so on. But you, Jack Jefferson, are you the Black Hope?
Well, I'm black and I'm hoping.
Answer him straight, Jack.
Say, look, man, I ain't fighting for no race. I ain't redeeming nobody. My mama told me Mr. Lincoln done that. Ain't that why you shot him?
My, oh, my. The big black rooster and the little red hen. I got you, you mother.
What you want here?
I'll show you what I want.
Hey! You crazy, you bitch! God damn it! What's wrong with you?
You leave my man be, girl. You don't leave him, I'm gonna throw you away at me, chump!
You got it all wrong, Clara.
Yeah, I got it from the chambermaid at the Park Royal Hotel. I come all the way from Chicago to got it.
And now that you got it, you get your black ass out of here.
In 1913, the boxing legend was formally convicted for traveling with one of his then-girlfriends, Belle Schreiber, at the time. As a result, the Texas-born boxer left the country due to this and went overseas to have his fight matches instead before eventually losing his title to American boxer Jess Willard back in 1915 in Havana. 5 years later, Johnson returned to the United States and was handed a 10-month sentence in Leavenworth.
To most whites, and to some African Americans, Johnson was a perpetual threat, profligate, arrogant, amoral, a dark menace, and a danger to the natural order of things. The real Jack Johnson was both more and less than those who loved or those who hated him ever knew.
In 1946, he was reported to have been killed in a car crash on U.S. Highway 1 near Franklintown, North Carolina after racing from a particular diner that failed to serve him at the age of 68.
Just remember, he told a young reporter not long before he died, whatever you write about me, that I was a man.